Here, and welcome to our first ever hangout on air for myself. I'm dealing with this stuff, figuring it out. Technology isn't my thing, but shout out to Derek Alexander for teaching us how to use this incredible tool. And I want to use it tonight to help you guys learn how to have predictable growth in your network marketing business. You see, this business needs to be treated like a business. You should be able to predict the results based off of what you want to go out there and create from it. And so here's the idea, guys. Is that oops, I had another one pop up. Like I said, working on this technology thing. But anyways, here's the idea: is that if you want to get in shape and you buy a personal and you go pay for a personal trainer, that personal trainer will create a personalized workout and diet for you to help you achieve your results. Someone who wants to just get skinny and lose 10 pounds is going to have a completely different diet and a different workout than someone who needs to put on 10 pounds of muscle, right? And so that's the same thing here with network marketing, is that every person who gets involved needs to have a different personalized plan in order to help them achieve their specific results, because everyone has different goals, dreams, and aspirations. And so the key is what you need to do is teach them the science behind this business. And that's what I want to help you guys do today. Today, I created a document that I think will be very advantageous for all of you guys to utilize in your business. It's something that helps you learn predictable growth and will help you create duplication within your organization. And so bear with me as I try and figure this out for the first time. But I'm going to try and screen share you this document. You can see the link below this that I'll post for anyone to go out there and use and utilize, and then we'll kind of go from there. And so the document itself is, one sec, share screen. There we go. The document itself is right here. It's called Goal Setting Action Plan. It's very simple, very easy, and we'll dive through it right now. So the first thing that you got to go do is you got to go and set someone's chief aim by convention. So everything in network marketing is built around convention. This vision of walking across stage, this vision of having tens of thousands of people cheering you on, congratulating you, this vision of getting pictures and getting awarded by the CEO and all of the top $1 million earners. You know, this vision of being able to look out on stage and seeing the tens of thousands of people that are cheering and clapping and thinking in your mind that I made it and that we did it. You know, this vision that you need to get into your mind is key. This is the main vision that you want to focus on. And so the first thing you got to do is you got to ask someone, what is their chief aim by convention? And then you reverse engineer the goal from there. So let's just say this person's goal is Sapphire. Simple, easy. Obviously, print out this document, and so it'll look a little bit more clean. But let's just say, for example's sake, we'll just do it this way. And then their current objective, this is their very first month. Let's say they want to go hit Jade in their first month. Fantastic. Okay. So now what you need to do is for me, and this is what I do with my people, is that now you've got to help them get a vision of what it's going to feel like once they actually go out there and achieve their goal of hitting, chief aim by hitting, Sapphire by convention. So you tell them, nope, spelled Sapphire wrong. There we go. Better. Now you tell them. So the dream/feeling of accomplishment on a separate sheet of paper, right? How good you will feel when you accomplish this goal. What it will feel like when you walk into convention and after hitting your goals, getting recognized in front of thousands of people, knowing that you gave it your all, ending up, and ended out working out. What kind of clothes are you going to wear? Are you going to be wearing a suit? What kind of shoes are you going to be wearing? You're going to be wearing some nice cologne? Are you going to have a girl there congratulating you, giving you a hug after? You're going to be taking a picture? Who are you going to ask to take your picture on stage? Get this as real of a vision as you can in your mind. And I tell my people every day when you wake up, it's the first thing you should think about. Every night before you go to bed, it's the last thing you should think about. This vision of where you're going to be going. You should be dreaming about this at night. That's how you're really going to go out there and find massive success. And so that's number one right here, is going out and doing that. Number two, now we're going to get into the science of really what you have to do. We're going to break it down to the number of exposures per day, and then also the number of exposures per week you're going to need in order to hit your goal of hitting your current objective for this RAP, which is Jade. So your current actives for someone who just started, let's just say their current actives are 0 and 0. Oops. 0. So 0 and 0. Fantastic. They're at 0 and 0. Their goal actives that they want to hit Jade, right? PEQs that you must have in order to hit Jade are what? You must have 8 PEQs, 8 of them. So what that means is that your goal active should be probably, just for this example, 4 on this side and 8 on this, or 4 on this side, right? Because you need 8 total PEQs. 4 on this side. 4 and 4, that's your goal actives that you need to do. Okay, so now you come down here to the math that needs to happen, and these are the equations that you got to put together, that you got to plug in order to go out there and hit your goal. So the first thing you got to do is that you need to find your actives needed. How many actives do you need to get? How many actives do you need to add to your business in order to hit your goals? All right, this is obviously very easy math here, but what you would do is you take your goal actives minus your current actives. And so this example is we give you your 4 minus 0. If you had 2 actives and you needed 8, right, it'd be 2 minus 4, right? And so it's the same idea, and that's going to give you this number. So obviously 4 minus 0 equals 4. So you need 4 actives are needed on both sides of your business, left and right, in order to hit your rank of Jade. So now the next thing you got to figure out is what is your conversion rate, because you see this. Now you take that number, your actives needed, which is 4 in this example, and the second equation that you do is you do actives needed divided by your conversion rate is going to give you the exposures you need with 100% retention. And I'll dive into what that means first. So first thing you need is what is your conversion rate? The conversion rate is this, is when you talk to 10 people, how many of them get involved? So if you talk to 10, 8 get involved, you have an 80% conversion. If you talk to 10 and 5 get involved, you have a 50% conversion. My piece of advice for the conversion rate is always under promise and over deliver. It's better to set a lower number than a higher number. That way you pad yourself for success and you can, like I said, under promise and over deliver. And a pretty average, conversion rate, maybe around 20 to 30%, let's say. Let's say for this person, it's 30%. All right, so their conversion percentage, when they talk to 10 people, 3 of them end up getting on board. So 30% is their conversion percentage. Bang, right there. Awesome. The next math you need to do is, like I said, right here, take the actives needed divided by your conversion rate. And that's going to give you the exposures that you need with 100% retention. So once again, I'll take out my calculator. Obviously, you guys can't see it. I'm just using my phone. And you can go out there and do this math, right? So once again, what is it? Actives needed, 4, right there, 4 divided by 30%. For those of you guys that are not math, you put it in your calculator as 0.3, okay, divided by 0.3, and that gives me a total of 13.333. Always round up. What that means is I need to have over 14 exposures with assuming I have 100% retention in my business. So 14 exposures, and this is monthly exposures, all right, at this point, right? With 100% retention, I would need 14 of them in order to go out there and do that. And so here's what retention means, okay? This is what retention means. Your retention rate is simple. All right, your retention rate is simple. It is when you have, let's just say, for example, this person's retention rate will be 100% because it's how many people from your current actives are going to repurchase product next month. So let's say their current actives are 10, and your retention rate, how would you calculate that? Is you need to guess, and you need to make obviously a hypothesis, an educated guess on how many of these 10 are going to reorder next month. And if you say 8 out of 10, then your retention rate is 80%. If it's 2 out of 10, then your retention rate is 20%. All right, is it 5 out of 10? Let's say then it's 50%. In this particular example, because his current actives were 0, obviously his retention rate is going to be 100%. Right there, 100%, simple, easy, okay? So what I would then do is I'm gonna take his exposures needed with assuming he has 100% retention and divide it by the retention rate. And with this, it's obviously 14 divided by 100, 100%, it's just gonna be 14, okay? That's your number that you're gonna go get, and you're ready to go. And that number gives you the number of exposures that you need per month. 14. Bang. So now he knows exactly how many exposures he needs to make this month on each leg. 14 exposures on the left leg, 14 exposures on the right, in order to hit his goal of adding 4 people on each side, okay? In order to hit his goal of hitting Jade. So now let's keep going though. Is that now that you've got the exposure what you need per month, we need to break it down to how many exposures you need to do per day. And how do you do that? It's simple. You got to do the math of how many days until the deadline. So how many days do you have until the end of this RIP? Obviously, tomorrow is the first day of the RIP, so you have 30 days until the end of the RIP. 30 days over here as well, 30 days until the end of the RIP. So now what you do is you take the exposures per month, which in this example would be 14, and you divide it by the days until the deadline, which in this example would be obviously 30. So here's what we do. So 14 divided by 30, 14 divided by 30 gives you 0.46. So basically half of an exposure every day, or one exposure every other day. That's what that comes out to be. One every other day. One every other day. So that's what he's got to do. So now you need to have an exposure once every other day for the next month in order to hit your rank. But what a lot of people like to do is, and me personally, this is what I like, is instead of making daily, I like to do weekly. So I just take that number, right? That number that I did, which is 0.46, and I multiply it by 7. And that's going to give me my weekly exposures that I need, 3.2, always round up. So what does that mean? My weekly exposures I need are 4 on each side. 4 on each side. So what does that mean? It means every week I need to make sure I have at least 4 exposures on the left side of my business and 4 exposures on my right. It doesn't matter if you do 4 in a day and 0 the other 6 days. All right. It doesn't matter if you do 1 every other day. I don't care how you do this, but you've got to make sure you get these numbers correct. You've got to make sure you run the numbers. So that is what you got to do. And if you just do this, if you focus on just this, actually doing the amount of exposures that you need, you will scientifically proven get this in the exact same way that if you say you want to give me 6-pack abs, all right, and I want to be 10% body fat, if you follow the diet that I give you and you follow the workout regimen, you will get it. That's it, period. It's a science. It is predictable growth. It's real. It's not just going out there and telling people and hoping some people will get involved. Very, very, very important. This is all people got to focus on, and by focusing on this, it will get them this, okay? So that is how you can make predictable growth. But here's the thing, is that there are 3 ways that this fails. And there's 3 ways that this number is incorrect, and I'll explain to them. And by the way, I'm not going to take the time to go through this, but this is some training I put together. Not my training. I got it from a lot of extremely successful mentors that taught me this stuff. But you guys can go ahead and look through that stuff. Here's action steps, right? For a new affiliate, if you just got started, here's what you should do. If you have an existing affiliate, someone who's already been in the business, here's what they should do, and how they utilize these. Here's how you can identify builders. Where should you invest your time? What is the definition of an exposure? That stuff, principles of success that you've got to make sure you know. And then this is what I want to focus on for you guys here, the 3 ways this plane fails. Number 1 way is that people don't follow your DMOs. And your DMOs are just your daily method of operation. Your DMOs are this: exposures per week. You said you needed 4 per week on each side, total of 8, right, for your total business, and you didn't do it. That's the biggest reason that people are going to fail, is that they're just not going to follow the plan. They're not going to do it, right? They're not going to actually go out there and make that happen. That's the biggest reason people are fail. 95% of people will fail right here because they just don't do what they were supposed to do. And how do you know if they did it or not? You look at their calendar. Every exposure should be scheduled. They should easily be able to tell you all of that. And this is a really good way down here to kind of to track it, which I'll dive into in a second. But a great way to track exactly the exposures that they had and where they're falling, where they're messing up and things like that. And so that's number 1, is they didn't follow their DMO. They didn't do the basic thing they need to do. Number 2 is you can have an incorrect prediction of retention. What this means is that I said I was going to have a 100% retention rate. Obviously, this example, there are 0 actives, so retention wasn't even a thing, so that wasn't even a possibility. But really, let's say, for example, I had 10 actives over here, and that was my example, 10 actives, and I said I was going to have an 80% retention rate, meaning I thought 8 out of 10 of them were going to reorder, but in all reality, I had 5 out of 10 reorder. So instead of doing that, my retention was 50% instead of 80%. That would throw all the numbers off, and that would make this not be correct, and you would need to obviously change your retention rate in order to actually go out there and do that. So the second way that this can fail is if you have an incorrect prediction of your retention rate. The third way that this can fail is an incorrect prediction of your conversion rate. All right, an incorrect prediction of your conversion. What this means is that you thought you were going to get 3 out of 10 that got involved, and really you got 2 out of 10. You thought you were going to get 8 out of 10 involved, but really you got 5 out of 10. That's what it is, just simply an incorrect prediction of your conversion rate. Those are the only 3 ways that this can fail. That's it. There's no other way for this plan to fail because it is a science, all right? It's the science of achievement. That's how this all works. This is a real business. It is predictable growth. And that's what's so cool about what we're doing. When you start to treat the business this way, you can show people an exact plan of literally, you do this, you get that, that's it, period, no matter what. And so guys, I highly suggest you go through this with your teams. And this is what I want to show you guys real quick is right here. And this is, once again, what real leaders do this every week. I'm doing this with my top guys every week. But what you need to do is that every month minimum, champions do it every week, you should be going over your goals with your upline leader and figure out if you're on track or not. If you get off track, then have your upline help you identify the problem, which one of these things is messed up, and then they will help you fix the problem. So here's the philosophy: plan, do, check, and adjust. This is the plan right here, 4 exposures per week. You do all this math and you figure out the exact plan of what you need to do. Then you do the plan. You work the plan. At the end of the week, check it. Did my plan work? Am I on pace to hit my goals, right? Check and see. And if not, why? What is wrong? Am I not doing what I needed to do? Am I doing my exposures per week? Do I have an incorrect prediction of my retention? Do I have an incorrect prediction of my conversion? What is it, right? And you check it. And then you adjust. Change the plan so that it works. Okay, my conversion was off, and I said I had 30%, but really I'm getting about 20% right now. So bang, I'm gonna go and change that right there. Okay, that is how you go out there and you identify and you can create and solve and create this plan and solve the puzzles or the riddle, which is network marketing, which is really not that hard. It's just a numbers game. And so that's kind of the idea behind all that stuff. And so this is the last thing I want to show you guys here. This is a list. This is how I make my lists, and I highly encourage you guys to do it too. I tell everyone on my team to do it. It's like this, is that, and here's an example. You have the name here, the need or the character trait of why you thought of them, and why they would need this or be good at this, their interest rate, their why they didn't want to get started, right? Why not, and why not a 10? And then a yes or a no is like a definite, okay, they're doing it, or a definite no. They're not going to go out there and do it. And so, for example, when I hit up Jamie, you know, I found, okay, Jamie's my guy on my list. The reason I hit him up was the need is that he hates his job and needed a way out. All right, after his first exposure, his interest rate was a 7 out of 10. All right, and the reason it wasn't a 10 out of 10 was because he didn't have the time. All right, every time that someone gives you a number that is not a definite 0 or not a definite 10, always schedule another exposure. Every time. That is what following up is. It's setting up another exposure until they have a definite 10 or a definite 0, saying it, meaning either yes, I'm down, or no, I'm not down. The biggest reason people fail is they lose people when they didn't even give you a definite yes or no. They have one exposure, they're like, yeah, I'm like a 7 out of 10, and then you never set up the next one. Okay, so the key is to continue to set up these exposures until this number is a 10 and they give you a definite yes, or this number is a 0 and they give you a definite no. So for this example, after Jamie's first exposure, all right, let's say it was with Kyle Lokar, all right, and Jamie would call, and I would call, you know, now this is Jamie's my prospect. I had him talk to Kyle Lokar, and this is what he got from it. Now I'm going to set up the second exposure. The second exposure is going to be with Christian Jukes. And I'm going to tell Christian, hey man, my buddy Jamie over here already got on the phone call with Kyle. All right. The reason he needs this is because he hates his job. All right. He has a 7 out of 10 interest rate in getting involved. The only thing that's holding him back is the time. And I can't wait to get this guy going. He's going to be a killer. So now Christian knows exactly A, why he needs this, B, why he's not taking the decision yet. So that when he presents, when he tells his story to Jamie and he gives him another exposure, he knows exactly what points to hit to help Jamie get over that fear and make that decision to make this be a definite yes. Does that make sense to you guys? And here's what's so cool is that when you get this big list, you'll have a bunch of different names right here. And every time someone says no, look at why they said no. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I think it's a pyramid scheme. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. What you'll find is that you have patterns. Everyone's saying the same reason why they don't want to do this, and it's simply because of the way that you're presenting. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to cater your presentation to their objectives. Everyone's saying they don't have the time. So next time I present, I'm going to focus on the fact that you don't have to change your life for this. All you got to do is change the topic of conversation. You're already talking to your friends. You're already texting them. You're already hanging out. You're messaging them on Facebook. Instead of just talking about the party, all you got to do is talk about a way to change their life. That's it. So now what this does for you is it gives you an exact map, an exact roadmap of how you can go out there and build your business predictably, and you can create duplication because you have a system. Then the system will build the people, and the people will build the business. I hope that makes sense to all of you guys. I hope you kind of see the value in it, and I hope you take the time to really learn it. There's 3 steps to what you got to do. Number 1 is that you got to master this yourself. You got to be able to go through this on your own or with an upline. Upline is better, all right, in order to get this mastered for yourself so that you know how to do it for you, so you know what you need to do in order to hit your goals. That's step number 1. Number 2 is you got to master the art of teaching this. You got to learn to teach this with somebody else. So, for example, I just PEQ'd someone named Billy who's going to be a killer out in Minnesota, okay, and we're going to get on a hangout and we're going to go over this with him, and I'm going to teach him how to fill this out so that he knows exactly what he needs to do to hit his goal of smashing Sapphire this month, which I think no doubt he's going to go out there and do. All right, so then I'm going to teach him. And then the third thing I got to do is I got to teach him to teach somebody else. So when he gets his first PEQ, I'm going to get on the Skype with him and his PEQ, and I'm going to have Billy do exactly what I did with him with his personal enrollment, with his new person, so that I'm not going to do it. I'll be there to help if he gets confused. However, I'm going to focus on Billy doing it because I'm teaching him to teach someone else. That's where duplication comes from. That's where freedom has come from. When you become a coach of coaches, that's how you can create true duplication. So once again, the philosophy, if you want long-term stable residual income, you want beach money, you want walk-away money where you get real residuals and real passive, you must build the people, or you must create a system. And here's the system for you, where if people plug into the system will build the people, and the people will build the business. That's all you got to do. It's simple. It's exciting. I hope you guys see as much value in this as I do. Ask me questions if you have questions, and go ahead and check this thing out, guys. So, hey, with that, I appreciate you guys bearing with me on my first ever Google Air, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be using this more, and I can't wait for the future, guys. I'm so freaking excited about what's going on. We have the best leadership in the game. We have the best company in the game, and this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that you got to take advantage of it within the lifetime of the opportunity. Because for me, I just believe that this is so rare to be at this point in the game, and I hope you guys take advantage of it and you see as much out of it as I do. So with that, guys, take care, stay blessed. I appreciate every single one of you more than you know. I feel honored to be on your guys' team and be a small part of your story, and I really hope that this system can help you as much as it helped me. So with that, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.